Hello, this is Rick Todd, Superintendent of Pinckney Community Schools, and thank you for joining me for this presentation regarding our strategic plan for the 2019-2020 school year. I'm proud to have the opportunity to share our vision for this upcoming year, talking about some of the structural changes that are going to take place within our schools, which do not include closing of any schools. I want to put that out there right off the bat. And that is not part of any discussions that we're having or will have in the future, but rather it's about making smart choices with our human resources, with our financial resources, to better position Pinckney Community Schools to be put in a place to have a stronger future for our students, our staff, and our community. And as it says on this opening slide, taking advantage of the challenges that we currently face here in education in the state of Michigan, and more specifically here in our community of Pinckney, but also with the mindset of building a strong organization, a strong educational organization for our students, and more importantly for the entire community here in Pinckney Community Schools. As with any important decision, it's important to start with the why, the reasoning behind our decision making, our need to move forward with the strategic plan. And we all here in Pinckney Community Schools know all too well that we've been having to face the challenges of declining enrollment for over the past 10 years, probably since the Great Recession going back to 2007. And for a variety of reasons, this local community has not rebounded as our neighboring communities around us once again, for a variety of reasons, regardless if it's investment in businesses, it's affordable housing for young families, and at the same time, the increase in options that parents have in pursuing education for their children. Here locally, we have 4 charter schools within a 10-mile radius that create specific challenges for us, along with 2 private schools between St. Mary's and Holy Spirit in Brighton, which gives us and gives our community really 6 options for education in a relatively short distance. And so what that means for us is that we have to make sure we're doing everything we can to be the best quality education experience for our students, to make sure that those who live here and those who live in the surrounding areas know the great things happening in Pinckney Community Schools, and more importantly, the great people that we have here working with our students. But that's one of the primary drivers in a lot of the decisions that we have to make. And we have to adjust appropriately each and every year, which we do with our staff and through our teaching staff, that we've had to make reductions throughout the course of the year. Unfortunately, we always look at ways such as retirements to do that. And unfortunately, we've been able to do that, and we're continuing to look at ways that doesn't impact our staff directly. And then it's kind of a natural transition in terms of reducing our teaching numbers. But we have to do the same thing for our administrators, and it's one of the things that we have to take a look at across the board, our central office, and make sure we're diligent and we're being responsible with our human resources as well, and it meets the needs of our existing student population. And that allows us to be fiscally responsible, which is another driver in our why, is that every decision we make, every dollar we spend, we have to make sure that we're spending it wisely and we're using it in a way that's going to best position us to meet our goal of being a strong educational institution for our community. Because we have high expectations for student achievement for all our students. And it's not just about test scores, but it's about providing our students the best possible options, the skills, the experiences that'll help them make the best choices when they leave us upon graduation. And that's the driver behind every decision that we make, because that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, because we want our students to have the best possible experience to reach their full potential. And with high expectations for all our students is so very important. And there are 4 goals that I had in mind personally when looking at putting a plan in place for next year. Goal number 1 fits right into the reasons that I just went over in terms of the why statement of we're continually looking to adjust our administrative staffing specifically for next year and appropriately to best meet the demands and the needs of our student population in terms of our declining enrollment. And we're going to do that strategically so that not only are we're being responsible, but we're also creating some very powerful options and opportunities for our district at the same time. And that leads right into goal number 2 by moving some administrative staff strategically in the district, we are going to create the financial resources needed to hire a long overdue full-time director of curriculum assessment and instruction. And those who work in our district know that it has been a long time since we've had one individual be the leader over curriculum. And I believe it's been since 2007. And although we've had an individual share this responsibility over a period of time, and he did a great job with the time and the energy and the resources and skills that he had, we need somebody who is looking at this area 100% of the time, because this is our business. This is what defines us. This is why our students are here, because curriculum, teaching, learning, and assessing their growth is the core of our business model. And we're not a business, we're an educational model, but from a business standpoint, this is the number one thing that we need to make sure somebody's paying close attention to, has the expertise, has the experience, and has the educational skills and knowledge to help move our district forward. Most of our community, they're not aware that Pinckney Community Schools is the only district within Livingston and Washtenaw County that does not currently have a full-time director of curriculum. And that's about to change, because we have a need, and we've done a great job sustaining without it and delegating responsibilities. But this business of teaching and learning has become more complex than it ever has been, and it warrants the attention of somebody in an expertise in that area and the time and energy they can devote to it. And I think our teachers definitely can feel that. Our assessment scores, unfortunately, are starting to show cracks in that. Without that leadership, they definitely should be higher than what they're displaying. And once again, we're not all about test scores, but they are one indicator of our success. And we need to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure that our scores reflect the hard work and the quality of students and quality of staff that we have here in Pinckney Community Schools. Goal number 3 for me personally is very important, and that's to continue supporting our staff, supporting the initiatives and the vision of our district with a strong visionary leadership team that we have had in place for some time. And my goal is to keep that in place as much as possible for as long as possible. Research shows that effective organizations have a strong, consistent leadership team and not a lot of turnover. And although they may switch roles within the organization themselves, they're still a vital aspect and component of our entire team. And we've been very fortunate to have consistency in this area. And my goal is to help keep that in place, because I think that's a good thing for our district to continue moving forward at a quicker pace. And I'm excited that we're able to do that, as you will see in just a few slides in our structural plan for next year. And goal number 4 is really something we're always working on. It's nothing new, but we need to be intentional about it, and that is creating a K-12 system of excellence that really focuses on best practice. And what best practice represents to us is that we are spending our time, our energy, and our resources on those things that matter, that we know work, and that we're going to get results. Too often we spend time and energy and financial resources on things that just are not producing the results we want to see. And we need to have the integrity to be able to make the tough decisions, to get rid of those things that don't work, and make sure that the time, energy, and resources, both financial and human resources, are being allocated in those areas that we know will bear fruit. And that's what we mean by best practice. And we need to create a K-12 system that reflects that. And as I just spent a minute or two talking about the why, then the next question is the how. How are we going to get there? How are we going to address these goals in the statements that I just reviewed? And it's been through extensive reflection, information gathering and planning, talking to our Board of Education, talking to my team, even talking to some parents, talking to some staff, that I've gained input in helping develop a strategic plan for the upcoming school year. And it has been developed, and we're going to review it in just a second. But next year, and starting next school year, we need to incorporate a larger vision for the next 3 to 5 years, and involving a variety of stakeholders in our district, because we're working with the state of Michigan. Our work has continued with the MDE, and we're now partnering with the Department of Treasury, and they would like to see us map out a plan of 3 to 5 years of what what is it going to look like in Pinckney Community Schools regarding our enrollment, our programs, our resources, what are our priorities, so that we have a framework to guide our decision making for the next very significant period of time. And we know that, once again, good, healthy organizations do this on a regular basis. And we've been doing it more informally and through our deficit plan, working with the state. And we've primarily taken on that role here at central office, but we're going to extend that, because we believe that more voices and more minds in a room is a powerful thing, and we want to take advantage of that. So as we move forward, we want to begin with our high school. And we know that high schools are the marquee school in every single district. And that's no discredit to the middle schools and elementary schools. But districts are generally defined by their high school. And so that's where we're going to start. And as you can see here, we are going to have some shifting in terms of our leadership team there. And I think this is a very positive thing. And I also want to provide some context to this shift to avoid any false perceptions or misunderstandings. Because when those of us who first look at this slide, we're going to realize that our current principal, Miss April Woods, is no longer in that role. And I need to put this out there right off the bat, is that I want to say that Miss Woods has done an extraordinary job as lead principal of Pinckney Community High School. She's done an amazing job addressing the culture there, of creating school pride, just aesthetically in the building. We notice a change, and we've been very pleased with the evolution and her hard work in trying to make Pinckney Community School the best place for both its students and its staff. And this decision that you see with Miss Woods being assigned and placed in the assistant principal role was really a professional decision on her part to move in this direction. Last fall, she and I started having conversations about her professional goals, where she saw herself, and being introspective as she always is, was doing some soul searching in terms of her professional role, and realizing what brings her joy, what is her true passion, where is her true skill set, and where does she want to maximize her time when working with our students. And over probably a couple months of several conversations and self-reflection, Ms. Woods came to the realization is that she would like to see herself working more one-on-one with students, and primarily those students who sometimes don't make the best decisions. And that fuels her. That is a passion. That is something that she embraces and revels in. And we saw that when she was a special education teacher here, and then working with our alternative ed program as well. And just came to a realization that professionally, that is where she wants to be. And I can definitely respect that. I think it's a great place when people can find out where the best fit is for them, both in their personal journey and their professional journey. And at that time, we weren't sure what it was going to look like because it was still early in the school year. But we knew that being lead principal was not something she was aspiring to do for the upcoming school year. But we also wanted to support her and keep her here with us because she's a valuable asset. And so, lo and behold, in December, Mr. Ted Kroll happened to have an opportunity to move to LASA to become the director of alternative education and adult education. And that just that came up with really no foretelling whatsoever. But at the same time, that did open up an opportunity for Miss Woods to transition over to the role of assistant principal. And I was very pleased to be able to see that occur. She was excited to have this opportunity. And so in December, we knew that this is where she was going to be come next school year. And with that obviously left an opening as in the principalship at the high school. And although we started talking about possible options for that, we knew that we had goals in this district to, once again, as I stated in the beginning, to free up resources to get ourselves a dedicated curriculum director. And we wanted to look at ways within the district to make that happen. Bringing somebody from the outside was definitely a possibility, but that would really make it difficult to free up the resources that we needed to allocate towards a curriculum director. So I spoke with our leadership team. I'm always very honest and transparent with them. and asked them if there was anybody interested in pursuing the high school principalship to have a conversation with me. And in December, Dr. Sharon and I sat down for about 2.5 hours talking about his interest in taking on the challenge of becoming the new high school principal. And he aspires to push himself, to be a constant learner, to take on professional challenges. And he was contemplating doing so for some time and looking for the right opportunity. And when this came up, he was very excited about the possibility and understanding that it is a big job. High school principal is probably one of the toughest and most demanding jobs in any school district. But with his recent obtaining of a doctorate degree in curriculum, wanting to put that in good use, and once again, having the experience of leading an exciting group of educators and students with the good work that Ms. Woods has put in place along with Dr. Darga before her, and to carry that on and to grow and to continue the good things that are happening, we were definitely open to that possibility. But I wanted to make sure it was the right fit for him. So I asked him to talk to his fellow colleagues and friends of his who have made that transition to high school principal. Obviously talk to his wife and to his family and make sure it was a good fit for them. And he also spent time talking to Miss Woods and Miss McBride and the current team we have there, because we wanted to make sure it was a good fit all around. And he came back after winter break, extremely excited about taking on this opportunity to begin a new journey in his career. Although he is sad to be leaving behind Country Elementary, because he truly loves that school, has done an extraordinary job creating a strong foundation of excellence and innovation at Country Elementary, that he wants to take that and carry that on and instill that in Pinckney Community High School. And we've seen some of that even with the partnership between New Tech High and Country Elementary. And Dr. Sharon has forged some positive relationships with staff and with the students there. And that experience alone helped kind of plant the seed of his thought of becoming a high school principal. And so we're excited to have this extraordinarily strong team at Pinckney Community High, being led by Dr. Les Sharon, working alongside April Woods and our instructional principal, Ms. McBride, and our CTE director, along with our Cyber Institute director, Dr. Jim Darga. And I am not afraid to say that I don't think there's another high school administrative team with the skills, the knowledge, and the passion to lead a building that we have here in Pinckney Community High School. And I'm extremely excited for our future and for the potential that lies ahead. So with that, the obvious question that many will have is, what's going to happen at Country Elementary? And with that, I am proud to announce that the new principal at Country Elementary for the 2019-20 school year will be Miss Ruth Badalucco. And many know Miss Badalucco because she has been a special ed teacher here in the district for many years. She is a PCS parent, mother of 2 graduates, but also most know her as recently and currently being the co-principal at Navigator School. And we believe that Miss Badalucco is going to be a great fit to support the students, the parents, and the staff at Country Elementary, as she brings a sense of professionalism, a desire to make data-informed decisions, creating systems that work for students, creating a warm, comfortable, safe learning environment for students and staff, having fun while she's working with students, bringing in new families, giving tours, being part of the team of advocating and marketing our district. And we're thrilled to have her there. And I think she'll be a great fit for the learning community at Country Elementary. For the past year, Miss Badalucco has worked side by side with Mr. Sharon, Miss Taylor at Farley, her colleague, Miss McDowell, and all the elementary principals throughout Livingston County as they've been working as a cohort in the area of early literacy. And with that, she's known for some time that she'll be making a transition to Country. She's been very intentional about her own learning, her experience, especially in the early parts of early literacy, the kindergarten and the first grade levels of reading, and is definitely ready to take on the task at hand to carry on the work that the staff is currently doing and the foundation that Mr. Sharon has put in place, and continue the environment and the culture of excellence and expectations. And so we're excited to have Ms. Badalucco as our new principal at Country Elementary. And then moving forward to Navigator Upper Elementary. With Ms. Badalucco transitioning over to country, we are proud to announce that the lead principal at Navigator Upper Elementary is current co-principal Miss Janet McDowell. And alongside her, to support her in her efforts, we're going to implement a new model, something we've been talking about for years, is blending and supporting the students and staff and parents at Navigator with Miss Lori Sandula, who is currently the assistant principal at Pathfinder. And with that, we are going to look at ways to have Lori and Miss Sandula support initiatives at Navigator that make sense. And not so much focusing on discipline, because sometimes people think an assistant principal is really primarily about discipline. But in an upper elementary, that really is not the case. It's more about supporting systems in place, working with teachers and parents with 504 plans, IEPs, behavior plans, school activities, and other opportunities that come up that can help begin bridging the gap between Pathfinder and Navigator. Our intent is to really start looking at the complex here between Pathfinder and Navigator as one learning community. Although we have two very distinct schools with their own identities, we want the experience here to be seamless. So when students do move from Navigator to Pathfinder, that it's not anxiety producing, that parents have a connection, they're familiar with at least one administrator, and that would be Miss Sandula, and there's a go-to person, so that it's really simply a walk across the parking lot. And we're going to look at ways to continue maximizing Mrs. Sandula's strengths, her skills. She's a great systems thinker. And we're excited about the potential and the opportunities that lie ahead. And with that, she'll be supporting Ms. McDowell in a variety of areas, and some I've already identified. But we're excited to have Ms. McDowell in this lead principal role. And most don't know it, but she's one of our most seasoned and experienced administrators on our team. She's the only administrator who has extensive experience at both the high school, at Pathfinder, at Navigator, and even some time at Lakeland Elementary. And when she can look at the continuum of learning of adolescent development from 4th grade all the way to 12th grade, that's a powerful attribute and a powerful strength that she possesses. And we're excited to be able to utilize that in her leadership. She's also very good at creating support systems for students. We have many programs throughout the district that she has been integral in facilitating and establishing. We have a program at Pathfinder that supports autistic students, and she was integral in getting that put in place, along with the program at Navigator that supports students with emotional challenges. And she is a great advocate for all kids. She's our director of our crisis team at the county level, and is passionate about school safety and making sure that not only Navigator is a safe environment for kids, but every school throughout this district. So we're excited for her new leadership role as a primary principal of Navigator School. And at Pathfinder, Mr. Ray is going to continue assuming the lead principalship role. However, Ms. Sandula, once again, as stated, will be what we call a blended AP role. And we didn't use the word shared because shared tends to designate set days and times. We are looking at blended in terms of opportunities, experiences, and where she may be coming back and forth throughout the course of a day between Pathfinder and Navigator. Her primary role at Pathfinder will remain working with students one-on-one, helping them make good decisions, helping them reflect on maybe a poor decision they made, using the restorative practice skills that she has, getting them to think about who they impacted with their decision making. And she'll also continue working with staff. But once again, that time will be blended in terms of supporting the students and staff at Navigator as well. We're excited about this opportunity. It will help grow her capacity as a leader. And I have no doubt, given where we're at both Pathfinder and Navigator with our students and enrollment, that this can be a successful model. Last but not least, our 5th school, Farley Hill Elementary, is not changing. We are proud and very happy to have Yvonne Taylor continue on as the lead principal. The staff and Ms. Taylor have done a wonderful job, as all our teachers and administrators throughout the district, working to get our kids to where they need to be successful throughout the whole K-12 experience. And she has continued to be a great support and leader of our consolidated grants, which are Title I, Title II, 31A, all the money we get for at-risk programs to support students who require those resources. And we wouldn't be in a great place with that without her leadership, her expertise, and we're looking forward to have her continue to support that as we transition into a new person as a director of curriculum and instruction. Lastly, I want to share some information regarding central office. And over the last 5, 6, 7 years, central office has been looking at ways to be efficient with our resources and our staff in terms of helping support our district with our budget, being fiscally responsible, and most importantly, trying to keep any decisions that we make in terms of minimizing staff from impacting our teachers directly, and most importantly, our students. And we always look at that at the forefront, making decisions that will not get to the students in the classroom, and that they would never notice difference. And honestly, as parents, that our parents would never notice difference. And I think we've done that. In central office, we have minimized several and combined several positions and utilized the great staff we have here to continue moving our district forward. And as you can see, our assistant superintendent for finance, she moved to part-time several years ago, has done an extraordinary job with that and continues to do so. And she will remain part-time for next year. But the new situation will have Brian Higgins, our assistant superintendent for human resources, moving to part-time as well. And we have some experience with this because a couple years ago, Brian did a timeshare with Dexter, so we had to adjust to his schedule here. And so we're looking to do the same thing next year as he moves to part-time, which means that I'll be taking on some extra responsibilities and duties, and also looking at ways for those on our leadership team to build their capacity by taking on some responsibilities that would make sense and be applicable to their job and to the time and energy that they have available. But these two individuals, both Brian and Linda, have been fantastic supports to our district, great advocates, and without their leadership and their willingness to do everything they can to help our district, we would not be in, I think, a good position that we're in today. And we are poised to be successful in the future, and their experience and their passion has been instrumental in getting us there. And at this time, I want to kind of transition from talking about our buildings and some of the structural changes to the things that we want to look at putting in place to help, once again, move our district forward. And you've heard me several times throughout this presentation refer to a curriculum director. And at the forefront of that decision, too, is to think of ways that we can build, that we need to invest in ourselves. And often when schools do struggle or businesses do struggle financially, they think about cutting. They think about what can we get rid of. And we do that, and we try to be efficient as possible. But I truly believe that high levels of quality cannot be achieved by simply cutting. But we need to do it through a mindset of growth, of investment, and of innovation, that we have to continually look at ways to change to make sure we're meeting the needs of our students at all times. And as you can see from the pictures that we have on this slide, I think this is a little bit of evidence of that in action. Just this year, we have invested in making sure our students and our wonderful music program, and specifically in this instance, our band students, had new uniforms because we were going decades with our old uniforms. And we've had a thriving music program, and it's continuing to grow and to prosper. And despite, once again, any challenges that we face, this program has not suffered one bit. If anything, it has gotten stronger over the years. And we're very proud and thankful for our music boosters, the parents, the community, and our district for supporting those efforts. Along those lines, the same holds true for athletics. And we could have started slashing athletic opportunities years ago, but our mindset was to grow and grow in a way that did not put a financial burden on our district. And our athletic director, Brian Warlow, has had the mindset of looking at ways to increase opportunities for our kids. And this picture shows our lacrosse team, which is relatively new, as one of the examples. We've also had girls field hockey, an extensive archery program from grades 5th through 12th. And if you've seen the news recently of partnering with Hamburg Township to create a thriving youth soccer program in our community. Once again, evidence that we are working to grow, to innovate, while being smart at the same time and not putting financial burdens on the district. And if anything, helping maybe generate some excitement and some revenue and interest in Pinckney Community Schools. And with that, we're investing in our teachers, in our students, in our principals by hiring and posting for a Director of Curriculum, Assessment, and Instruction. And this posting will be open to both internal and external candidates. And once folks get a chance to look at the qualifications and the expectations that we have for this position, it should become fairly clear that we're not settling. We have high expectations for the person we want in this position. We want to hit the ground running. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of heavy lifting to do, and we want the right person, the best possible person that we can bring in to help support our instructional leaders, support our teacher leaders, support all our staff in creating the best learning environment for our students. And I'm excited to say that we can do this at a cost-neutral price point because of the decisions we're making with our restructuring of our administrative team. We're able to do that. It's not costing our district any new money. It's just using our existing money differently for a greater need. And I know some may say, well, we could save money and could we continue to live without a curriculum director? And my answer to that is we can't live without getting one. Once again, this is our business. This is what we do. We focus on teaching and learning and curriculum. And to not have somebody, what I would refer to as a project manager in the business world, that's what we call them, somebody leading projects, working with teams, collaborating with teams, finding out what their needs are, what resources they need, and supporting them through their efforts. It's very difficult to get to the bottom line and to create a quality product. And our quality product are our students. And we need somebody who can work with our teams across a K-12 continuum in this capacity. So I don't believe we can continue on and expect to have success without a person in this role. And I'm excited to be able to get to the point where we can do this. And following that, our say short-term or maybe long-term goal is to institute a curriculum coach model, or what some may refer to as instructional coaches. And those are generally master teachers, instructional leaders in specific content areas such as math, ELA, reading, science, social studies, working side by side with teachers in classrooms. They're fantastic at asking great questions, probing questions, and really seeing things from the outside in to give great critical feedback to help, once again, refine the complex process that we call teaching and learning. And once again, we are the only district in Livingston County, and probably in Washtenaw as well, that has not instituted some model of instructional coaches. And it is known as best practice. It is what we know that works. And it's definitely an investment that we will see results, and we need to get there. And we're going to get there when the resources and the opportunities become available, the people become available. And hopefully that can start happening very shortly. This next slide just gives a very brief overview of some of the things and responsibilities and structures that a Director of Curriculum Instruction Assessment would be overseeing. Once again, the posting that we're going to have really outlines it in greater detail. But looking at things of like alignment, the instructor, and even the learning culture of buildings, and even amongst staff. Because as a healthy culture grows amongst our students and amongst our professionals, that will help initiate and support higher level learning in each and every building. And once again, I'm not going to read through these points here. It was just a quick reference that folks can kind of stop and take a look at during this presentation. But once again, the posting for this position will have more specifics in terms of job expectations. For many years, I do hope that our community and our staff have come to realize that we've been very intentional in terms of marketing our district. We have a lot of pride for our students, for the quality of our staff, for the innovative learning activities that we are providing not only to our students, but to our broader community, to our senior citizens, and to those even throughout this state. And we've been limited with some of our marketing ability because Positively Pinckney, which has been our marketing team, led by a former board member, Deb Reynolds, has been doing a tremendous amount of work on limited funds that they obtain through donations, fundraisers, the selling of P2 merchandise, and they've done a great job. But we also need to take it to another level. And with the help of grants we've received through the Department of Treasury, we are very happy and proud to announce that we've hired Miss Deb Reynolds to be our marketing and communication specialist, as she'll continue on and expand the existing work of P2, and with our goal being that we want those who live in our community know and understand that Pinckney Community Schools is the premier school of choice in our community. Once again, I stated earlier in this presentation, there are a lot of schools and educational institutions that parents have a choice, but often they don't spend the time or don't know the great things that are going on in Pinckney Community Schools. More importantly, they don't know the great people that we have working with our students, who are highly skilled, they are empathetic, compassionate, nurturing adults that I'm proud to have my 4 children spend each and every day of their school experience with. And our job and our focus needs to get those folks in here to see what's going on firsthand, to talk to the adults working with our students, to see our students, the amazing things they're doing and what they're learning and how they're being prepared for the 21st century. And Deb is going to help us get that message out and be very strategic in that task. And as it states here in this slide, if we don't intentionally, consistently, and positively tell our story, someone else will, and generally it will not be flattering. And as these 2 short stories to the right of the screen say, that we need to be very conscious about telling our stories, and we need to work on creating and maintaining a positive and consistent image of what a Pinckney Pirate is, what our expectations are, and the quality of experiences they'll have when they spend time with us during their formative years of education. So once again, welcome Deb to our team, and proud to have her as our first marketing and communication specialist. And the work doesn't stop there. As we look to the future, we are continually looking at ways to build partnerships, to network, to create opportunities for our current students, for those students who live here but may not go to school here, and for those abroad. And the first opportunity that I would like to let folks in on is a future possible partnership with existing Kensington Woods, who continue to lease our space at Lakeland Elementary. And over the past 4 or 5 years, we have forged a very positive and strong relationship with one another. I have a high level of respect for what they're doing there, and the same holds true for what's happening here at Pinckney Community Schools. But unfortunately, Kensington Woods is struggling with the same challenges that we are in terms of enrollment. And we've begun having conversations about how we can best pool our resources and look at a partnership and create a model of education that is unique, that is extremely innovative, that is nothing to be found here in Livingston County, that will not only help provide opportunities for our students in our community, but those in our surrounding communities as well. So we've been engaging in conversations with the Kensington Woods Board of Education, their staff, their parents, and their students, along with our board here. And as we look at the possibilities for what may lie ahead, whether it be next year or the year after, it's something we're excited about, and we'll only move forward if it makes sense, both educationally and financially. But I do want to be upfront that these are conversations that we're having, and it would be a great opportunity for students in the area, but also a great asset to have Pinckney Community Schools partner with and collaborate with Kensington Woods, because they offer a quality learning experience there, and they're able to do some things in a smaller setting that maybe we're just not able to do. But then how can we maximize that and pool our talents and skills and resources to create something very special? At the same time, I'm currently working with a community member in exploring and developing a homeschool partnership. There are hundreds and hundreds of families who choose to homeschool their children, both in our local community, throughout Livingston County, Washtenaw County. And I'd like to look at Pinckney Community Schools as being a resource to those families. And we've had past practice where we've had homeschool students come in and take elective programs, which they're able to do through the regulations of public education. But we want to expand that and look at opportunities to create a bridge that we can forge a stronger partnership, and once again, work with our families and our community members who choose to homeschool their children for whatever reason, that they can be partnered with Pinckney Community Schools through what is called a homeschool partnership. Schools are doing this successfully throughout the state of Michigan, starting at Berrien Springs, Gull Lake, Centerline Schools, Lapeer Schools, Oxford Schools, and Clio Schools. And they're offering exciting opportunities for their homeschool families They're benefiting financially from this partnership. And once again, it strengthens the resources that we provide for our local community and families, which is so very important. Our hope is to get something in place by next school year, if we can do it with fidelity, with efficiency, and quality. And that's our hope as we're beginning to put some pieces in place to make that happen. Dr. Jim Darga has done a tremendous job not only helping facilitate and establish the Cybersecurity Institute at Pinckney Community High School, but creating positive and strong partnerships, networks, collaborative agreements with those in our county, throughout the state, and even nationally. And through his extensive ability to network and to share all the great things that's happening here in Pinckney Community Schools, he has created a partnership with Anchor Bay Schools, which is located in Macomb County, in which we are offering cybersecurity education to Anchor Bay students virtually. And from what we're receiving right now, they are extremely pleased with the experience their students are getting. We have our high school teacher, Rich Lamb, who's facilitating and mentoring this process, and he's doing a fabulous job. And we're looking to use this pilot as an opportunity to expand this experience. And although I cannot share details about an opportunity that is coming to us in the near future, there will be a press release, and when that time comes, I'll be excited to share news about an extensive partnership and agreement that will help carry the name of Pinckney Community Schools statewide. And you'll just have to stay tuned until that time comes. Along those lines, Dr. Darda has been working hard in creating what's called a Marshall Plan application. Marshall Plan is something coming from the state of Michigan that former Governor Snyder instituted, in which creating opportunities for local businesses, educational institutions, and high schools to create opportunities to generate skilled workers. As we know, that is a dire need throughout this state and throughout our country. And with the resources we have available at the Cyber Training Institute, we have the ability to create a program that will train high-functioning autistic adults in the area of cybersecurity, taking advantage of autism and their ability to be focused, to work in an environment that is very linear and very task-orientated. And we've seen this be successful in countries such as Israel and even Australia. And we have modeled what we want to do by the success of those initiatives in those countries. And we have the support of 7 significant state agencies that include Michigan Works and the Autism Alliance of Michigan. And we're looking forward to putting this in place that will help support our local community and our community throughout Livingston County. And we'll end with one more exciting announcement via the work of Dr. Jim Darga once again. Has been working with the veterans, and we have a close partnership with the Department of Defense, with the National Guard, with General Stone, and with even our local legislators. And through this, we have been approved to be a facility that can train our local veterans, those veterans that have sacrificed on our behalf for our freedom, and give back to them by offering them the opportunity to gain the skills, to earn the skills needed to have a new career in the area of cybersecurity. And that can be done right here in Pinckney Community High School. And these veterans who are eligible and both interested can utilize the GI Bill to help support the cost of this training. And we're excited to be partners with our veterans here in Livingston County and throughout the state of Michigan. Because once again, this is a way that Pinckney Community Schools can give back, can be a valuable resource to those who defend our freedom, who sacrifice so much. And I couldn't be more proud as not only just as a superintendent, but just as a community member and as an American citizen. So a lot of great things happening that are continually kind of on the forefront of our conversations and our work behind the scenes that many are not aware of. But proud once again to be able to be part of innovative and an extraordinary district that's always looking at ways to grow and to innovate. And as I stated, we have a tremendous amount of support from folks locally and throughout the state. And I think it's important for our community to be aware that through our efforts, through our ability to continually meet the challenges brought before us throughout this state in education, that we've been more than responsible with the resources we've earned. And our evidence speaks for itself for what we've been able to do with our programs and our opportunities for our students and for our community at large. And we've gained the high level of respect and support from our own ISD, LASA, Senator Lana Tice, Representative Hank Vopel, Representative Ann Bolin, Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin, the MDE, and now working in a very close partnership with the Department of Treasury, which has been a positive experience as they've come in and they have reaffirmed the work that we're doing and have given us credit to the point that we are being referenced throughout the state at conferences as being a district that is meeting the challenges of education head on and with the mindset of growth, of innovation, and looking to prosper and to be financially stable for the long term. And once again, I'm very proud of this as well and appreciate all their support. The beginning of this presentation started with the why. Then we transitioned to the how, and we will conclude with the what. What are we trying to accomplish? What is our end product? What is our end result? And as I state here, the what for Pinckney Community Schools is that we will become the premier school of choice for our community. Yes, I want to be a premier school of choice for students throughout local communities, but first and foremost, I want students and families to know if you live in the Pinckney, Putnam, Hamburg, Hell area, that Pinckney Community Schools should be the premier school of choice and the first place we come visit and take a look at for options for our students. Yes, I will admit that we're not the perfect fit for all kids, and no school is. But for a majority and for most of our students in this area, we can offer a high quality experience K-12 for our students. And often parents choose schools before they ever even step foot into one to gain the appropriate knowledge. And unfortunately, they use social media to gain information, and often it's not positive. Or they may talk to somebody that's not happy. And yes, we've had people who are not happy here, but they don't see what's happened in the background and what we've done to make things right. And sometimes we have to make decisions that sometimes people just don't agree with. And I think that's true for every business and organization and every educational institution. But big decisions about K-12 education should not be made on those pieces alone. They should be made by coming in, visiting, talking with the people, seeing what we have to offer, then making an informed decision. And that's our goal, is that folks know that we're the premier school of choice for our community, providing a high-quality learning experience in which all students, regardless of learning ability, learning needs, learning challenges, emotional needs, socioeconomic status, that all students have the opportunity to be successful while discovering their passion for learning and, more importantly, their passion for life, all while being an organization that is financially stable and supported by the entire community. And that's the what. That's what we're trying to accomplish through every decision and plan that we have put in place. I'm going to wrap up with just a couple more slides. And I want to wrap up with this slide and this quote from Simon Sinek, who has become one of the most renowned speakers on leadership, has a lot of TED Talks out there on YouTube. I follow him on social media and Twitter, and is somebody that I share with my leadership team on a regular basis, and have come to gain a high level of respect, because when he talks about leadership, he reaffirms our thought process, our mindset of how we go about doing our business, and what we truly believe leading is. And leading to us is serving our students, serving our staff, serving our local community. And here, Simon Sinek says that a team is not a group of people that work together, but a team is a group of people that trust each other. And that word trust is so important. And I'm so fortunate to be working side by side with the Board of Education team that has a high level of trust amongst themselves and with our team here at Pinckney Community Schools. Alongside that, I'm proud and privileged to be working alongside a leadership team of our principals and administrators that has a high level of trust and collaboration. And this doesn't mean that we always agree on the path to get there, but there is an understanding that our goal in front of us is a common goal. The vision is a common goal. Our belief is a common belief. And we call that having a high level of collective efficacy, which means that we're all rowing the boat in the same direction. And we're not going around in circles. We all have an oar in hand. We're all working together, and we're all rowing that boat in the same direction. And my goal and my hope is that we are a team district-wide, that we are a team community-wide. And although some may not always understand what and why we do the things we do, is that there must be an inherent level of trust that we're doing everything we can to make this the best district for our students, for our staff that work here, and for our community that live here. And that's our ultimate goal. And it starts and begins and ends with trust. And we are truly a team of pirates. And with that, I want to say go Pirates. I want to thank you for your time in this extensive presentation. As always, if you have any further questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me. Give me a call at 810-225-3900. Please email me at rtodd@pinckneypirates.org. If you have my cell number, feel free to call me or text me, or just stop on by. Set up an appointment. I'd love to meet with you individually. If you want to take a tour of some of our schools, see firsthand some of the great things that are happening, or you want to talk to me about some concerns or frustrations you may have, we can work through anything together. But it starts with a level of trust that we will listen to you, we will be empathetic, and we will always try to work out a situation that is best for your children and your family. And so with that, I want to say thank you for the time and energy you've given, and take care, everyone, and we will see you soon.